Alright guys, so basically what this video is a how not to be terrible at BO4. You probably shouldn't be listening to me for sniping tips, because I mean, well, that's all I'm going to say about that. But basically, it's just going to be a few tips and tricks about how you can better your shot on BO4. Well, not just on BO4 and COD in general, but this is going to be mostly directed towards BO4. So yeah, enjoy the video, I guess. Okay, so one of the first things to probably know about this game is the lack of aim assist. So, you know, in BO3, World War II, there was tiny bits of aim assist on certain snipers. For example, in World War II, if you held your breath, or in BO3 with the RSA, I believe that had aim assist, but I'm not 100% sure. In this game, you can probably tell that there's absolutely no aim assist whatsoever. I'm really not sure why Treyarch did that, but they decided to do that. You do actually have to alter the way you do with snipers in this game. So in previous COD, you know, you could like drag scope pretty effectively. So okay, so say the person was moving and you wanted to snap onto them like that, right? You know, that would be an effective way to shoot someone, but you could even just as effectively do that. So you could drag scope, which still works in this game somewhat, but it's nowhere as near effective as it used to be on Call of Duties with aim assist. Another thing to note about sniping is sensitivity is absolutely crucial. Finding your perfect sensitivity is one of the biggest factors to sniping. So personally, I would recommend a lower sensitivity for starting off in COD, unless you're, you know, unless you've played other CODs and you know that you can play on a high sensitivity, or just other games in general. But if you're doing bad in a higher sensitivity, I would go down to a lower one and just work your way up from there. Find out what your sensitivity preferences. Personally, I play on a 14 sensitivity with a 2x scope zoom, which takes me into my next item that I'm going to talk about. So scope sensitivity is something fairly new to Call of Duty. You couldn't actually do this before Black Ops 4, and it was only fairly recently added to Black Ops 4. I think it was added about a month ago, but honestly it's more or less the same to finding your perfect sensitivity. Just start on a low one, or even just start on the one that it gives you, which is a 1x, I think, which is just a normal scope sensitivity. Then you can turn it up, turn it down, and just go from there. And whatever sensitivity you get the most kills with, I would go with that one. The next thing I'm going to talk about is class setup. Now, class setup is one of the most important things when it comes to sniping, and it's even more important this year in Black Ops 4, as most snipers aren't a one shot to the body without high cal and or high cal 2, if you can put that on your sniper, but that's only for the Paladin. So the first class setup I'm going to tell you is the Paladin one. Now, I'm going to tell you two class setups for the Paladin, and because, you know, I'm catering towards a more aggressive playstyle and a passive playstyle, so yeah. So the first class setup I'm going to talk about is the Paladin. Now, the first one is high cal 1, high cal 2, FMJ and sight loader. Now this gives you the perfect Paladin setup for an aggressive playstyle, which is how I play, which is why this is the sniper class that I use. So sight loader is basically the fast mags of this game. It also makes it so you can reload inside your scope, as I'll demonstrate here. So I'm not sure if you could tell, but I actually just reloaded well aimed in, but it also makes you reload faster. So my next class setup I'm going to tell you about is also for the Paladin, which is high cal 1, high cal 2, FMJ, and stabilizer instead of sight loader. So what this is basically steady aim for the snipers, but instead of it being a perk, it's an attachment. So as you can see, there's a lot less sway on this scope rather than this scope. Another thing you'll have to note about stabilizer is, though, you're not able to reload well on your scope. It automatically takes you out, and it reloads a lot slower. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is controls. Now, controls are really important for this game because you're going to have to be jumping a lot while shooting, crouching, you know, dodging the shot. So the controls I would recommend playing on are stick and move. What this does is it makes it so you don't actually have to remove your right thumb from your right analog stick, so you can actually just continue aiming well in the air. Because what it does is it makes you press in the right analog stick to jump. So the alternatives to this is playing claw or getting a scuff, which is what I have. So I got a scuff about maybe a month or two ago, and I definitely do recommend it. The only issue is it's very expensive, so basically a free alternative to that is playing stick and move. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is playstyle. Now, playstyle is very personal in this game. as a lot of people play very passive, a lot of people play very aggressive like I do. But either way, you're going to be wanting to jump shot quite a lot, as it makes it a lot easier to hit your shots in my opinion, and it makes it a lot easier to dodge shots. Also, sliding is very important, so you can be dodging shots and just getting around the map a lot quicker. As you can see, doing stuff like that is just very important to this game. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is Specialist. Now, Specialist isn't so important for getting better at sniping, but I mean, it can make a wee bit of a difference. Now, honestly, I would just recommend picking a Specialist that you have fun with, as it will make the game slightly more bearable. But Specialists honestly were a mistake to put in this game, as a lot of people think, and they just don't really fit. Now, one thing I do want to say about getting into sniping is just don't be harsh on yourself, and it can be very tough to start off, and you will probably get shit on by most of the players. But if you just honestly just keep going at it, you'll get better. And if you're too hard on yourself, you will get really demoralized and most likely give up on it, which is, it's not ideal, putting a lot of time into something and just giving up. So yeah, I guess I'll put some clips in now and enjoy the rest of the video. Oh, that was disgusting. I got a split quad feed.